I'm Trupti, your guide for MIT Harbour. Today, I would like to welcome you all for the first session of Adhyapan series. MIT Harbour Adhyapan series is an initiative of MIT Harbour which will help the students grow personally and professionally. So, Adhyapan series aims to provide a platform to students where they can listen to and learn from industry experts, academicians, psychologists who would guide students on various topics and continue the learning process. So, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker for the session, Mr. Jacob George, who is going to discuss with us the dynamics of logistic management and share with us his vast experience in the field. Our speaker, Mr. Jacob George, is currently a senior level consultant in many engineering and non engineering companies. Prior to that, he has worked with Thermax Limited as the head of exim department, which means 40 years of vast experience in international business, foreign trade policy, as well as international logistics management. All this makes him the perfect resource person to guide you all on the various dynamics in the field of logistic management. So here's looking forward to all the knowledge that he has to share with us today.
I have worked a few years in Thermax in international business, and I would try to convey whatever I learned to you in brief. Probably this session we are taking around 1.5 hours. It's a very vast field, and whatever little I can communicate, of course I will do that. And whatever questions you have, please ask me. Now we will be talking about logistics management. Okay. Now we are in a time. It's a very apt time to have this session because there's a lot of news about logistics management recently, and the Prime Minister of India has launched a national logistics policy just last week. We'll talk about that a bit later. I will be covering, of course, very, very short and very, very brief because the time is very, very limited for us. I will primarily talk about what is logistics. Now, the Prime Minister has launched a policy which is called National Logistics Policy on the 17th. What is the purpose of it? To accelerate India's growth and development and become cost competitive so that you will be able to be competitive in the international market. You need to export to earn more in foreign exchange. And the the political scenario, what exactly happens in the globe is very conducive for the Indian businessman to be reaching out our products to across the globe so that we will be economically a strong country. Now, what the Prime Minister said during the launch of this, of course, you can read from here. What it says, we want packages to move at the speed of a cheetah. Of course, that's the fastest animal. Indian manufacturing is making its place in the world. In such a case, the national logistics policy will give new energy to every sector of the economy. The more whatever you manufacture, whatever products you have, you reach it as a consumer's place at a very competitive rate, your business, your economic situation will improve. The Indian logistics market is estimated to be around 150 to 160 billion USD. So it's a big industry, we have a big country, the high population of the country. So there is enough scope to move the cargo which is produced in one place to another place and reduce the cost, and you will be able to export it. When we talk about the international, because I spend most time in the international business, the international business is by far a complex a process in the country. Of course, there is a lot of initiatives which have been taken to reduce this paperwork and system working and all. Still, there are around 20 government agencies you have to get involved. There will be around 37 Export Promotion Council. There are around 500 certifications. There are around 129 ICDs. There are 168 CFRs. Then so many banks and other insurance companies, a lot of agencies get involved in the international business, which becomes again a complex situation. The government is trying to take all these steps to reduce all these bottlenecks so that we become cost competitive country. During the COVID time, a company in Pune, that Serum Institute, manufactured the vaccines. It was a challenge. It was a big challenge because I was involved to some extent. I was aware of it. It's a big challenge to reach the vaccines across the country in the shortest possible time. So how do you do these kind of things is very, very important. So you have to have a dedicated people in the factory, they pack it properly, move it properly. Then when the cargo comes to the airport, there will be aircraft should be available to move the cargo and reach the cargo the shortest possible time to the people with the shortest, so that people can be vaccinated. That's we all experience. So this particular activity, like manufacturing, or maybe a little more than to manufacture something, the logistics support is very, very crucial.
Which under? मतलब पोर्ट किसके अंडर आते हैं, गवर्नमेंट के या पर्सनल?
Okay. Now in the country we have now private ports, we have ports coming under the government, but most of the ports, though coming under the government, it is under a trust. It is a trust have been created, and in which there are a lot of stakeholders which is involved. Okay, for example, Bombay Port is a trust, JNPT Port is a trust, Mundra Port is a private port. There are a lot of ports which are going to the private players at the moment, because feel that the government feel that private players are able to give a better service, a faster service to the trade. We have both.
So I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What is the meaning of ICD and what is the purpose of ICD?
In Pune, we have one is called ICDs, another one is called inland container depot or container freight stations. The difference between inland container depot and container freight station, ICDs are supposed to be connected through the rail line so that the cargo can move directly to the port. Container freight stations, it can be everywhere, it can be inside. So there are either in ICDs or CFS. Now ICD, if I say there is one ICD in Pune that is called in Chinchwad station, inland container depot, right in the Chinchwad station, there is a yard over there, there is a inland container depot over there. They're one of the largest containers, ICD, if I have to say, you must have heard, there is one ICD in Tughlakabad, Delhi. A lot of cargo which is generating in Punjab, Haryana, UP, all those places are being consolidated over there, stuffed in a container, railed out to JNPT or Mundra Port these days. So that is, there is an ICD. CFS is a place, it's the same function. Let me tell you, the port, the ICDs and CFS does the same activity, what is being done on the port, except there is no ship over there, there is no water over there. All other activities are being done over in the ICDs and CFS. All custom formalities are done. Cargo can be stuffed in a container in ICD. Cargo can be put in a truck or a rail, moved out straight to the port, loaded to the ship. So you understood what is the difference, what is the ICD and CFS?
That what are the challenges specific to India, and then which model is best suited to us?
Ports are not that equipped, number one. Though there are a lot of recent development happening in some ports, for example, JNPT, that is one. The connectivity to the ports are not that good. And when I say connectivity, the rail connectivity is the road. JNPT got a rail connectivity, Mundra got a rail connectivity. But we have a lot of ports, major ports and minor ports. So one is the ports connectivity is not that good. We need to work on that. Another major challenge is the road infrastructure. Because, the time taken, now I don't know, anybody has traveled. We are in Pune, I'm talking to a lot of students from Pune will be there. If you have traveled to the JNPT port 10 years back and now, there's a big improvement. Huge ports have been made. Okay. Massive ports, but that's not the case with the large number of ports in the country. So the port and the road connectivity is a major. Number two, the time taken for reaching the cargo from one place to another place, whether it is a port or otherwise. An average truck can travel around 300 kilometers in India per day, whereas internationally it can travel around 500 to 800 kilometers per day. So this is a big difference. That is number one. Number two, the next is the cost which is involved in each. The cost is the the oil cost or whatever the operational cost, which is very, very, very high. And the third, of course, now we are in the past, of course, that it was not the connectivity, the mobile connectivity, some places still not there. With the tracking of the cargo. So a lot of transporters are now implementing this scheme of tracking the cargo inside the country. I'll tell you a small little example. We move a lot of cargo to Bangladesh by road. Let us say we are moving the cargo either from Bombay, Pune, and Gujarat. How many days it will take? How many days it will get stuck in the Petrapol border and the Benapol border. Petrapol on the Indian side and Benapol on the other side. So there is first of all there is an issue on the weather. In the monsoon season, it's very, very difficult to drive down in those terrain after Calcutta. The big problem, and plus the congestion which will happen in the port. It takes around almost either the traveling time from Pune to maybe Petrapol could be around 15 days. It will reach another 15 days to 20 days. It will stuck in the border for custom clearance because the facility over there and the parking bay over there. So we need to create these kind of situations, and the bureaucratic controls which we had in international business was enormous. I said that we have around 37 EPCs and 20 government agencies, then 40 partner government agencies and whatnot. A lot of signatures, approvals which are required. So government has taken a lot of steps in the last 3-4 years, putting into e-Sanjit and EDI and IceGate facilities, connecting with customs, connecting with the RBI and DGFT and banks with a lot of improvements. But though it has all been, there's a lot of things to be done to have a seamless movement of documents and things. So these are some of the bottlenecks at the moment.